Joe Tessitore and the guys with you here. Coverage coming from Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, the Axiata Arena. It is the return of Manny Pacquiao. The ring walks will be taking place in just moments for the title fight at 147 pounds against Lucas Matthysse. This was the scene a week ago, the arrival of Manny Pacquiao to Malaysia. And as is often the case with Pacquiao, especially in Southeast Asia, the formality of almost a head of state, as he was greeted, received, and then getting to work for his final preparations. Mark Kriegel with a further examination of this edition of the Pac Plan.
The most difficult part of a fighter's life is recognizing when not to fight. Your faculties and fortunes still intact. Eventually, what made them great will make them vulnerable. I'm not saying Manny Pacquiao should retire or that he's incapable of more greatness. Just hoping he understands the true nature of his circumstance. It's hard to see the future when you've had a past like his. He began at 108 pounds, the only fighter to win titles in 8 divisions, all the way up to 154. If Mayweather stayed undefeated, it was Manny who tested the imagination. A good big man should beat a good little man. But for a time, none of them could. He was Henry Armstrong reimagined as a pay-per-view sensation, which brings us current to the economic imperative. The guy everyone feared is now the guy everyone wants. There's no shame in the way he fought Jeff Horn, but there's danger in not seeing the truth. A great champion finally coming up against the limits of his size and his age. He's 39. A senator allied with a repressive regime. A champion's ego remains, but so does a massive debt to the IRS. It's been 9 years since he won by stoppage. If Manny himself doesn't understand, don't expect his minions to. Having fired his longtime trainer, he doesn't have advisors so much as acolytes. Men who came up massaging his feet, cutting his food, who thought themselves lucky to sleep at the foot of his bed. In a way, he's alone now, but still fighting for that most elusive title in boxing, a happy ending.
Want to show you the landscape at 147 pounds, as Pacquiao 3 times has had a piece of the title here. Lucas Matthysse currently does. This is as loaded a division as there is in boxing. You have big-name fighters everywhere, including Keith Thurman, who has been absent and injured, last having fought in March of 2017. But Errol Spence and Bud Crawford, as good as you're going to see. Bud Crawford maybe number 3 according to ESPN.com at 147 pounds, having just recently won a belt. But the argument is made that Bud Crawford is either the number 1 or number 2 pound-for-pound fighter in the world with Vasily Lomachenko. Pacquiao and Matthysse, number 4 and number 9 respectively. And keep in mind, Bud Crawford just defeated and TKO'd Jeff Horn right here on ESPN+. The same Jeff Horn who defeated Manny Pacquiao last summer. So let's talk about that, Timothy Bradley, as we remind people what that fight looked like in Brisbane, Australia last summer.
Well, Manny Pacquiao was pushed back. Here it is. In the 6th round, see Manny Pacquiao getting pushed back by Jeff Horn. Jeff Horn getting the bully.
That's a fight.
The headbutt there. Some cuts with Manny Pacquiao.
There's one cut that started on the hairline, and then cuts would play a big role in this fight. There's 2 times it would happen.
See Jeff Horn there using the dirty tactics, pushing the head down there. But he was just really physical in this fight with Manny Pacquiao.
On the left side. And then came round number 9, and this is the moment where we saw the old Manny Pacquiao, the big left hand, the right hook from the southpaw, and we're sitting there thinking he's going to get rid of him.
Yeah, but you know what? Jeff Horn showed heart, tremendous courage in front of 50,000 people in Australia, and he gets the victory.
And he felt a very controversial victory. You're sitting there ringside. It was the bigger guy who was brawling and mauling and bullied him, and I felt he won the last 3 rounds, as did a panel of judges, by the way, that went back and watched the fight again because of the complaint and the protest. But convince me, Mark, that that's not the Manny Pacquiao we see tonight.
Well, there's a reason they call them the championship rounds, by the way, and I caution against not giving Horn enough credit. I think one of the things you saw in that fight was Manny Pacquiao coming up finally against the limits of his size and his age, but in particular, his size. Jeff Horn, as we saw there, bullied Pacquiao. Matthysse will not be able to because they're the same size. They're both 5'6". He's not going to be able to lean on him like that and punish him like that, which was a good bit of the fight where Pacquiao got worn down. I don't think that's going to be the case tonight.
No, Matthysse spent most of his career at 140 pounds, and this will be his third fight as a full welterweight at 147 pounds. That's the scene overhead here Sunday morning in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. Oscar De La Hoya holding the belt at the weigh-in yesterday between Pacquiao and Matthysse. The fight when we return coverage from Malaysia. Glad you're with us here on ESPN Plus for Top Rank Boxing. Lucas Matthysse putting his belt up against the legendary Manny Pacquiao, fighter from Argentina, 35 years old, who had the opportunity to fight for the WBA belt in his last fight, January in LA, vacant title. Remember, Super Champ Keith Thurman's been so inactive, so they opened things up for Matthysse to fight against Tewak Karim, who's 38-0 at the time. And Matthysse, as has been the case so often in his career, displaying the power, and coming up with the knockout win to claim the belts. He has scored knockdowns in all but 5 of his 44 career fights. So you see Keith Thurman there, but he's been so inactive. He hasn't fought since March of 2017. So Matthysse, the current WBA regular world championship, so a piece of the WBA 147-pound belt. That's what's on the line here. Pacquiao is looking for the 60th win of his career. Matthysse looking for the 40th win of his career. 36 knockouts in 39 wins, Mark.
Matthysse was 12 when Pacquiao turned pro. That said, he's not a young guy either.
No.
He's a 14-year pro. The best news for him is that power is the last thing a fighter loses,
yes.
You know, and that's his shot. You saw it before against Karam, that right hand. So I think that what you're seeing tonight, the most difficult part of a fighter's life is knowing when not to fight. Who gets closer to that realization tonight, Pacquiao or Matthysse?
Talk about that power as this crowd is ramping up. Manny Pacquiao to make his presence. Filipino fans have watched one of the great ascendant stories of rags to riches in the sport. 1992, made the national amateur team. Left home at 14 years old. Debuted at 16 years old. He was under 5 foot tall. He was 98 pounds. He had to put rocks in his pockets to make the minimum weight to be allowed to fight. And then in 98, he wins his first world title. That was at 112 pounds. Still not the big breakthrough moment, even though he claimed a belt there. That would happen later. Came stateside and went on to beat all the greats. Was the fighter of the decade. You know, the work against Cotto and De La Hoya and Marquez and Mosley and Morales and Marco Antonio Barrera and Ricky Hatton was just awesome. And then came the run to politics. Elected as a congressman back home in 2010. We had to wait until 2015 to see the Mayweather fight that marinated far too long and was overcooked by the time we had it. And the beat went on, announcing his retirement, being elected a senator. Some have said that he is a shoo-in and a lock to someday be the president of the Philippines, and then out of retirement to come on to ESPN in Australia last year and was upset by Jeff Horn and loses the title that he had quickly earned back. But he's been in against everybody, including 22 champions. The amazing career of Manny Pacquiao, and unheard of to be a champion who goes from 112 pounds with a belt to 154 pounds, and now the comfortable welterweight division for Pacquiao. 147 here with his WBA belt on the line.
I said it before. He tested the limits of what was possible, what was thought possible. I should have a nod here to the great boxing columnist, great columnist and boxing broadcaster Larry Merchant, who really pushed the idea more than a decade ago of Pacquiao fighting Oscar De La Hoya, who was 154, who had been 154-pound champ, even fought for middleweight titles. But the idea was to test the proposition where there could there be a contemporary Henry Armstrong? Could there be a lightweight who beat welterweights?
And people forget the way we viewed Oscar De La Hoya back then, too.
Yeah.
Because you get caught up in the glow of Manny Pacquiao and everything his career has been.
That's true. De La Hoya had a renowned career as well. He's a legend as well himself. And Manny Pacquiao took him out.
That was 2008 when Pacquiao TKO'd Oscar De La Hoya in the 8th round. Fast forward 10 years later here, and Oscar De La Hoya, now a longtime promoter, who was holding the belt between Matthysse and Pacquiao. When it comes to Manny Pacquiao against notable world champions, and obviously Timothy Bradley, you would be on this list, and we've showcased that numerous times, your trilogy with Manny Pacquiao. 2-0 against the great Marco Antonio Barrera. De La Hoya, you know what happened there with the TKO. He had the beatdown of Miguel Cotto. That came in 2009 with a 12th round TKO. Floyd Mayweather, obviously the fight came far too late, and he had an issue with his shoulder and needed surgery afterwards. But the signature fight series came with the 4 fights against Juan Manuel Marquez. He went 2-1-1 against Marquez, and of course had the trilogy with our very own Timothy Bradley. This is the scene right now as Pacquiao is getting ready to come out to the adoring fans. Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, the first world championship fight in Kuala Lumpur since Muhammad Ali was here in 1975. In the shadow of the Petronas Towers, the Axiata Arena.
No, Tim, I did not cover that.
I'm excited about this fight.
Why not? It's Manny Pacquiao, and there's great curiosity.
I'm excited to see what Pac has left. I'm excited.
So here he comes, as he will be the first to have the ring walk as the challenger. Remember, Freddie Roach no longer flanking him. They split. First fight in 17 years without the famed trainer from the Wild Card Gym, as they make the long walk from the tunnel in the back of the arena. And you can see the disposition in the face slightly changes for Pacquiao.
Game face is on.
But the smile is often there, as we've seen time and time again. He feeds off of his fans and their energy. Justin Fortune, who's been the longtime strength and conditioning coach, is the man in front in the blue shirt. He has been a part of things throughout. Buboy Fernandez will be the Chief's second, the longtime friend and cornerman of Pacquiao.
Speak of the smile, he's always been a happy warrior, and a happy warrior is unquestionably the most dangerous kind.
Yeah, but once he steps foot in that ring and he looks across, and Matthysse look across at Manny Pacquiao, he's going to see a different animal. He won't be seeing a happy, friendly type of smiling Manny Pacquiao.
What I'm talking about is a guy who is at home with himself, who's at peace with himself, has no doubt.
Experience.
This is nothing short of a small army making their way down to this arena in Kuala Lumpur, as Pacquiao arrives at 39 years old, a year removed from the loss to Jeff Horn.
Pacquiao's been out of the ring for over a year. If I was in Mathisse's corner, I'll tell him to come at Manny Pacquiao right out the gate. That's when he's most vulnerable. Early on. Test that chin.
You see how devout Pacquiao is.
Yes.
He had a religious conversion right after he was knocked out by Marquez. That's when he became this religious.
Yes.
We've been on the road with Manny Pacquiao, and there will be prayer services in his hotel. He will have masses said, and he will always pause and give thanks. And now the champ is set to make his arrival. It will be the first defense of Lucas Matthysse title.
Well,
The Argentinian, who's 35 years old, who has always shown a willingness to put forth his power. It's his third attempt at a world title when he finally broke through. He'd been in against Danny Garcia previously, Victor Postel previously, and then most recently claiming a belt. Only the third Argentinian to ever grace the cover of Ring Magazine. Sergio Martinez and the legendary Carlos Monzon, the other two.
If he should win tonight, it places him squarely in the history of some great Argentinian fighters. Martinez, Maidana, Luis Firpo, fought Dempsey.
That's right.
Oscar Bonavena, Victor Galindez, and of course, the great, ferocious Carlos Monzon.
Must be something in the water or something over there. All those guys are punchers.
Tough and determined punchers.
Yeah.
Joel Diaz, of course, Timothy Bradley, you have familiarity with him.
Yes.
The trainer of Lucas Matthysse.
Well, Joel Diaz has some experience. Went up against Manny Pacquiao with myself. So he does have some insight on Manny Pacquiao. And he does have some experience on knowing when a fighter is done and when a fighter should leave the ring. I know he feels that Matthysse has the power to hurt Manny Pacquiao, and I'm sure he's probably has a game plan similar to.
Here is the tail of the tape between Matthysse and Pacquiao. And to the point we made earlier, Jeff Horn, a different kind of guy. Bigger bodied, can barely get down to welterweight. When he lost, Pacquiao did to Horn last year. Matthysse, much like Pacquiao, probably most comfortable at about 140 pounds, comes up here the last two fights to welterweight, where Pacquiao, as we've said, can eat a full breakfast the morning of a weigh-in and still have no problem making 147 pounds.
What we saw.
That was a brunch and dinner all rolled into one. Here we are set for Pacquiao's return, and for that, it is the incomparable Michael Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, from Axiata Arena, Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, let's get this party started. MB Promotions, in association with Oscar De La Hoya's Golden Boy Promotions, proudly present the main event of the evening. 12 rounds of boxing for the WBA Welterweight Championship of the World. And it's sponsored by Pack Token, kryptonizing popularity through G-Coex, and Philippine Airlines, the official airlines of Team Pacquiao. Sanctioned by the Malaysia Professional Boxing Organization. Commissioners, Mr. Matthew Fritz Gaston, Dr. Nasser Cruz, and Mr. Giovanni Menez. WBA President, Senor Gilberto Jesus Mendoza. Supervisor for the WBA, Senor Renzo Bagnarial. Filipino Games and Amusement Commissioner, Mr. Mar Masengit. And your three judges assigned at ringside. First, from the International Boxing Hall of Fame by way of South Africa, Mr. Stanley Christodoulou. From Australia, Mr. Derek Miller. From the United States, Mr. Glenn Feldman. And when the bell rings, your referee in charge of the action, World Championship veteran Kenny Bayless. And now, the fighters are in the ring, and they are ready. The officials are ready. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? For the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world, ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble! Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, the challenger wearing white and officially weighing in at 146 pounds. His professional record, 59 victories, including 38 wins by knockout, 7 defeats and 2 draws. He's a future Hall of Fame fighter, the 10-time world champion, 4-time welterweight champion of the world from Sarangani province, the Philippines, the fighting legend of the Philippines, Manny And fighting out of the blue corner, wearing black with yellow, official weight 146.7 pounds. His professional record, 39 victories, 36 of those 39 wins by knockout, with 4 defeats. He is one of the greatest knockout punchers in welterweight championship history. Damas y caballeros, de Cordoba, Argentina, reigning, defending WBA welterweight champion of the world, Lucas the Máquina Matthysse.
Matthysse and Pacquiao to get this thing going from Malaysia. The American veteran referee Kenny Bayless, the third man inside the ropes.
Okay, fighter in chief. Fighter in chief. Chief. Okay, Lucas Manny. Trunks are good on both sides. Anything on the waist is considered a low blow. Now, gentlemen, we went over the rules in the dressing room. Again, I want to caution you to keep this fight clean at all times, protect yourself at all times, and what I say, you must obey. Good luck, touch them up, and God bless. Touch them up.
We've been reading the book of Manny Pacquiao for 23 years. Is this just another outrageous chapter, or is this the ending? We get the answer tonight. Matthysse with a great opportunity against one of the biggest names to ever be in the sport. Pacquiao with a chance for career win number 60 and yet another belt, and to continue on as a premier big cash ticket in boxing. Tim Bradley, give me something to look for early on.
Something to look for early on is Manny Pacquiao using his jab, trying to lure in Matthysse to catch him with the counter left hand that he's been famous for. He knocked guys out with. Matthysse looking to land the right hand against Manny Pacquiao.
Pacquiao always with that thick base, those big calves that allow for him to dart in and out, to lunge, to create power.
Yeah, Manny Pacquiao can close the distance in the blink of an eye. He's the mid-distance king. And you see as he pushed back Matthysse with those combinations. Still fast and still hitting hard.
We've been watching video for a year now of Jeff Horn bullying Pacquiao. And already you can see the configuration, the stature of each fighter is considerably different. Matthysse, I don't believe, is going to be able to do anything like that.
Oh, Matthysse is trying to use the jab, trying to measure, and trying to land the right hand on Manny Pacquiao. Trying to be a little bit smarter, not just rush in there.
Tim, you were in there opposite Manny Pacquiao 3 times in your career. How does he look physically to you, this version of him?
He still looks sharp, still look fit, still look ripped. And he's having a good round.
Matthysse off balance on that exchange. He is having a good round, just placed a left hand to the body as well.
I tell everybody, Manny Pacquiao, the fight's not over, but Manny Pacquiao's B game is better than a lot of guys' A game. The speed and power of Manny Pacquiao and the experience he has and the toughness. He just don't fight for himself, he fights for his country.
Richmond, Pacquiao's lost some quickness. He's still quicker than Matthysse. He's still a little bit busier than Matthysse.
Very busy here in the midst of round number 1.
Matthysse is not going to win a boxing match against Manny Pacquiao. He needs to step it up, get inside, work the body of Pacquiao, and try to push him back, similar to Horn.
Matthysse doesn't worry about getting to the scorecards much. He has scored 63 knockdowns altogether in his career. 11 knockdowns that drop their opponent down and out for good.
I don't think it's a Horn strategy. I think that he has to play, yes, for the knockout. He's got to work. He's got to go for that right hand.
That's what he's looking for right now. He's trying to be patient. He just missed it. He looped the right hand about 30 seconds ago, and it just barely missed Manny Pacquiao.
His best shot is the Marquez strategy. I don't know if he's technically proficient enough.
There it is again. Just missed. The punch that we're going to be looking for later in the fight.
2-division world champion Timothy Bradley with us here calling Pacquiao Matthysse. You like to keep it simple. You say it's your good and bad.
The speed of Manny Pacquiao. Let's just talk about the hand speed. He still has it, even at the age of 39 years old. Let's look at the bad. Yes, age. He's been through a lot of wars. He's 39 years old. He can get old overnight. You never know. The good with Matthysse, heavy hands. He always has a chance because he has the punching power in both hands. And let's look at the bad. He did pretty well this round. Poor head movement. Doesn't move his head a whole lot. Manny Pacquiao did tattoo him a few times to the head. But poor head movement from Matthysse.
The top on that list of Matthysse is heavy hands. He always has a chance.
That is the beauty about boxing. Doesn't matter how many rounds you're down. If you have punching power, you can end the night.
Round number 2.
Matthysse being patient. There's the overhand right again. He's trying to land.
CompuBox numbers favoring Pacquiao in that first round.
Pacquiao coming out real aggressive early.
I think that's a good thing. Get rid of last year in Brisbane, Australia. Set your pace on your terms. Put that thing in the rearview mirror quickly.
Good jab there from Matthysse.
And if I might add, keep that left hand up.
You hear this crowd here in Malaysia reacting to every single punch Manny Pacquiao throws. Doubles up the jab, came in with a straight right, and Matthysse tries to fire back with the right of his own.
Matthysse trying to stand his ground here. Manny Pacquiao's getting his combinations off, but Matthysse firing back, trying to find spots to fire back and counter.
Southpaw hook sits right out there in front of Matthysse.
Matthysse playing real smart right now, keeping his hands up, playing defense, trying to lure in Manny Pacquiao.
There it is, checking that right hand was Pacquiao. Now the distance jab from Matthysse. See if he comes with the right hand behind one of those.
Tim, you're a different fighter than Matthysse. Does having Joel Diaz in his corner, your former trainer, does that give Matthysse a tactical advantage?
I think it does. I think Joel Diaz understands Manny Pacquiao, but I also know that Joel Diaz knows that he doesn't have that horse needed to beat a guy like Manny Pacquiao. He has a powerful guy in Matthysse, don't get me wrong. And he's controlling some of the action in spots. But Manny Pacquiao is extremely fast, punches hard, and constantly moving on angles, and constantly giving guys feints, and constantly burning guys, burning the energy just with his feints and his movement and his presence in the ring.
Of course, a third go-round for Diaz against Pacquiao. It's Tim Bradley's trainer, brother of the former lightweight champion Julio Diaz, and the contender Antonio Diaz, and the trainer Lucas Matthysse, 35-year-old Argentinian champion.
So Matthysse is trying to control the distance from the outside, which is smart. You have to do that and try to catch Manny Pacquiao as he comes in.
Got to be willing to throw when he does that.
Yes.
You will get those shots. End of round number 2. Glad you're with us here. Coverage coming from Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, here on ESPN+. Glad you found us. Fans Green, just $4.99 for the total package of all sports. And glad you're with us enjoying Manny Pacquiao's return here.
Dangerous, be careful. Hands up those knives.
So used to seeing the calm approach and steady guidance of Freddie Roach. No longer with Pacquiao. Boy Fernandez, the chief second.
They have not spoken since Australia. I'm kind of shocked to think that Pacquiao didn't even reach out to Freddie Roach when his mother Barbara passed away around Christmas time.
Sunday morning in Malaysia. Been a long time since Kuala Lumpur has hosted a fight of this magnitude. You have to go back to when Muhammad Ali was 33 years old and had a 15-round unanimous decision as the knockdown is scored here in round number 3. Pacquiao gets to Matthysse. Let's see what Pac-Man has.
Still has those punches from odd angles.
Here he comes.
The 45 type uppercut came right up the middle. Split the guard of Matthysse.
And now we have an answer to one of the central questions here, which is how much power does he have left?
Remember, no knockouts for Manny Pacquiao since November of 2009 against Miguel Cotto.
Pacquiao still got to be cautious because Matthysse has that punching power. He doesn't want to walk into anything.
Like what he did against Marquez back in the day after they traded knockdowns.
See Pacquiao being smart on his attack, using his jab, trying to move forward. Trying to find an opportunity for Matthysse to sit still for just a second to explode with combinations.
Last time Matthysse was down was 3 years ago against Victor Postal.
He was TKO'd in the 10th round at his chance at a 140-pound belt then. Pacquiao trying to pin him in that corner. As Matthysse has settled back in here.
Those punches come from odd angles. They come around, they come underneath. It's hard to gauge them. You see that? He moves in, punches from every angle. And they're fast and hard.
This feels like a sharper Manny Pacquiao than what we saw down in Australia against Horn.
He's sharper because he's fighting against a smaller guy who can't lean on him, dirty up, and bully him in the same way. The physical dimensions are different. And probably to Tim's point, I think it's human nature for Pacquiao to have underestimated Horn.
Yeah.
We've got the longer layoff here, maybe some fresher legs for Pacquiao. A more purposeful training camp compared to what you just described.
They're 39-year-old legs either way.
True.
They are.
They need to be freshened up.
And he's not a heavyweight.
So the knockdown scored in round number 3. As Diaz will get to work with his charge, Lucas Matthysse.
Hey, acuérdate, usted caído y se ha levantado. Okay, mira Lucas, ahorita le pegaste un golpe y se paró. Ok, pero mira, acuérdate, esa izquierda la está metiendo doble y recta. Cerradito. Estás calado, te pateo, te jale de patada, Nico. Háblale, háblale. Háblale, Marco. Hey.
You could call this a 45 or maybe even a nice, it's an uppercut. A left uppercut right up the guard of Matthysse. Split the guard. The punch that you don't see will hurt you.
There's an awkwardness to Manny Pacquiao throughout his whole career that is so effective.
Yes,
that was an example of it.
This looked like an uppercut hook, 45.
Non-conforming. It's what he's always been. And it got the best of Matthysse there in round number 3.
And it was lightning fast.
Total power punches, 31-16 connect advantage for Pacquiao. The left uppercut, the best of them all.
One of the reasons that punch is possible, Matthysse leans in.
Yes, he does. When you lean over the front foot, that's what happens. Get lifted up with the uppercut. Pacquiao will look for that shot again.
Nearly caught him with a right hook that time. Yep, setting your head up like it's T-ball and giving your opponent the chance to hit a home run.
I told you, no head movement from Matthysse. He doesn't move his head.
Diaz was asking for it after that last round. He was getting into Matthysse saying, I need more head movement.
Trying to see the same pattern as the last round from Matthysse.
Just fired off another one of those left uppercuts, did Pacquiao. Trying to get around the guard now with that left hand is Pac-Man. Better work from the jab of Matthysse. Pacquiao comes in behind the double jab. Matthysse goes to the belt line.
We're so accustomed to seeing Manny fight naturally bigger guys. Matthysse is basically a 140-pounder. If I'm not mistaken, the last real 140-pounder that Pacquiao fought was Ricky Hatton.
And you know what happened on that night.
Yes, we do.
One of the most sensational finishes you'll see.
Beautiful right hand right there from Matthysse.
That's the shot he wants.
Every now and then, Pacquiao step back with his hands down, and Matthysse step in with a right hand. He clipped him right there. A good shot by Pacquiao, coming back with his straight left. Getting off the line, getting that head off the line and throwing that left hand. He's famous for that.
Off the hip and lunging with it.
In the 9th round of your 3rd fight with Pacquiao, you boxed marvelously.
Yes.
And you kept that right hand by your head the whole time. The second you dropped it, he got you. Well, it seemed to me that for Pacquiao, the same type of thing applies, that Mathisse's best shot is if he drops his left hand.
Yeah. He dropped his left hand, but the problem I made was I double jabbed, and he came right down the pipe with his left hand. I didn't see it coming.
Manny put forth good work there at the end of the 4th round.
Look at the speed and power of Manny Pacquiao here. Good right hand from Matthysse. As Manny tried to move in, came in that mid-distance range, he threw a straight right hand. And here you're going to see Pacquiao land his straight left hand there. Getting off the line and landing that straight left hand. And here Pacquiao stocking. There's the famous left hand where he steps off the line and he throws a straight left hand down the middle.
Dili sa counter puncher, unahan nimo, di mo counter, dula, pudor lang. Ato ang tudyong, ang depensa.
Nice. Cover your jabs up. Okay. Straight 1-2. Just keep defense all the time, right? Keep your hands up, this guy's still dangerous.
Mura ginuto yung gamay ng pudor.
I know this fight's not over, but I'm impressed with the speed of Manny Pacquiao and the power of Manny Pacquiao. Still 39 years old.
Backs him up, utilizing that jab. Comes with a left hand that gets around the guard. And Matthysse having to cover up for a moment there. You saw CompuBox tallies as Pacquiao out in front, consistently outworking him in the first 4 rounds.
Matthysse still doing the same thing, looking for his opportunity to land that big punch on Pac. Trying to be patient, trying to pay.
Well, he knows what his weaponry is and what he's capable of.
He's trying to
No matter what you see, no matter how consistent the work early by Pacquiao has been, including, by the way, a sensational uppercut that scored a knockdown, Matthysse is never going to be out of this thing because of what he possesses with that right hand.
Well, that's the price of patience here, is that he has to endure a beating on the way to get that shot.
Yes.
Toward the opportunity to get that shot.
That's the only way he can win this fight, I believe.
That price of patience also comes with rounds being scored against you, not just the pain that you're taking. There's a left hand to the body from Pacquiao, and then comes with the left hand that gets around that right guard.
To this point, I think this is Pacquiao's most physically dominant round.
I want to see a little bit more body work from Pac. He goes down to that body. See, Pac stepping inside right there, trying to recharge. Allowing Matthysse to go ahead and hit him.
That's what Jeff Horn was doing to Pacquiao.
There's a clash of heads there.
Okay, here we go.
Now you see Pacquiao doing it to Matthysse.
Once again, Matthysse leaning forward with his head and creating the opportunity for Pacquiao to land that left uppercut.
And creating the opportunity for a headbutt. Oh, nice left hook right there from Matthysse.
Solid work with that left hand. There was a body shot from Pacquiao. Matthysse gets off his best combination following it.
Pacquiao started getting a little relaxed in there. Matthysse still dangerous.
Then a counter right.
Having some moments in this round.
Oh, that got to him. He takes a knee after Pacquiao lands. Second knockdown of the night scored by Pacquiao. What a turn. You said Pacquiao was getting relaxed. Matthysse was finding a little bit of groove. And just like that, it happens again.
Matthysse discouraged the speed and the power of Manny Pacquiao. It's frustrating him. He got clipped with a little shot on the temple and he went down and took a knee.
As I said before, that's the price of patience. While he's waiting for his shot, he's taking those blows, and no one except for Lucas Matthysse knows how much pain that's inflicting. It turns out it was a lot.
Here it is. Here's Manny Pacquiao stocking with that jab. Comes around with a little short hook. Clips Matthysse, looks like on the temple possibly.
It doesn't take much when you get hit there, right, Tim?
No, it doesn't take much, but you see the hesitation from Matthysse. Got clipped on the temple. He shouldn't take a knee. I'm kind of confused. It wasn't a shot that really hurt him. But I think it's just frustration and getting hit over and over and over and over again.
Admonished by his trainer, too, saying, stop standing in front. You're right in front of Pacquiao. He wants movement. He's not getting it. Round number 6. Matthyse's been down twice. We'll get the low blow here as the warning from Kenny Bayless. And we're going to give Pacquiao as much time as he needs, up to 5 minutes.
Take your time. Take your time. It is over.
Who do you think this favored more, Manny Pacquiao or Matthysse, the little red?
Well, Pacquiao had the momentum coming off of the 5th round, but obviously Pacquiao's going to do it on his terms to feel as though he's recharged and set. And he gets right back to work and does so with a combination. And there's that left uppercut again with that sneaky angle from Pac-Man.
You know what we're seeing, fellas, right? Vintage Pacquiao.
The late rebirth of Pacquiao, if it keeps up like this. The Pacquiao that undoubtedly will be headlining another card if a W comes his way against another big name.
And right now, all the other big names, everyone we've spoken to, between 135 and 154 pounds, they all want one guy.
He pays the bills.
Well, maybe they'll want him a little bit less now. I don't know.
Everybody mentions his name.
I'm going to go out on a limb right now. Don't be surprised if Matthysse don't come out in one of these rounds.
Hey, listen, the power's in there. He can show it.
The frustration, the speed of Manny Pacquiao is giving him problems.
Pacquiao again scoring with that left hand. Halfway through round number 6. Saw nothing like this against Horn last year. Just that glimpse we got in the 9th round, where from start to finish tonight, this has been a consistent Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao who works, who darts in and out, who shows you glimpses of what he's always shown us, and has scored 2 knockdowns already.
Not a bad fighter for a politician.
Pretty good, huh?
Special.
Trying to find a home for that right hook. And then goes to the body with the right hand as Matthysse fires back.
Good body work from Pac right there. Matthysse every now and then slipping in the right hand on Pacquiao as he walks straight in. Good jab from Matthysse.
Needs to double that up even more. Keep going with it. There's that uppercut again from Pacquiao as he splits the guard. Right hook, left hand combination.
He doubles up the jab and leaves himself susceptible to the same shot that Pacquiao hit you with in the 9th round of the third
Yeah,
fight.
but throw the right hand behind it and let your power go. Pacquiao trying to get under that guard there and place the body shot moments ago as Matthysse comes forward again.
You're looking at a guy who's been a pro for 23 years.
23 years, 5 months, 460 total rounds, and 22 champions fought.
Is he fighting like it, Mark?
Remarkable, isn't it?
But I think that I do think that this is all relative. I think that we have underjudged, undervalued Jeff Horn from the start.
He's no good going backwards, Manny. Double jabs up, staying backwards. Don't forget the body shot. It's good work. This guy's terrified of you. All right? It's still dangerous. Keep your hands up. Combination still.
Here's the low blow.
Pacquiao moving forward. Matthysse looked like he was trying to go down to the body with the right hand and went down south, really down south with that on Manny Pacquiao.
You heard Justin Fortune, who's been a long-time presence in the camp of Manny Pacquiao, the quarterman and strength man, former heavyweight from Australia, say he's terrified of you. Round 7.
Just to complete the point from before, I think part of it is we underestimated Horn, but also I think this is what happens when Pacquiao fights someone his size, even at his advanced year.
Oh, we still got some rounds to go. This fight's not over. That's the beauty about boxing. And you got a guy, Matthysse, who had the punching power to end it.
He has scored knockdowns in all but 5 of his 44 career fights. And, of course, 36 of his 39 wins have been by knockout. 1-2 from Pacquiao. Comes with the lead left hand. Glad you're with us here on ESPN+. Good action from Malaysia. So Tessitore, Timothy Bradley, Mark Kriegel with you. Been a full night of boxing that started in New Orleans with awesome action of the undefeated guys who are blossoming stars. And then we bookend it and cap it here with the living legend Manny Pacquiao against the title holder Lucas Matthysse.
It's funny, we saw the birth of Regis Prograis as a star tonight here in New Orleans. First thing out of his mouth, give me Pacquiao.
Exactly.
I want to see it. I want to see that fight.
Well, there is a question as to whether or not Pacquiao can or will fight in the United States. He has a substantial debt to the IRS.
We've seen Australia last year. We see Malaysia this year. That has been well documented.
You know, it's in excess of, as I understand it, in excess of $20 million.
Well, when you make that much against Mayweather, it's going to be a big ticket item.
Matthysse using that jab, but not throwing the right hand. His corner keeps asking for that right hand. It seems like he's afraid to throw it. He doesn't want to leave himself out there to be countered.
But you have to have the willingness if you want to beat the Pac-Man.
Yes, you do.
That would go toward Justin Fortune's point that he's scared of you.
Uppercut again, and he puts him down again. Pacquiao floors him a third time. Pacquiao has done it. Knockout victory at his return fight. How about it? And look at this scene in front of his adoring fans. The global superstar who a year ago was upset by Jeff Horn is right back at it. Knockout victory, Manny Pacquiao.
His first win by stoppage since 2009, almost a decade since Miguel Cotto, and he has not just reestablished himself, he has changed the configuration of boxing again.
The 60th win in the grand career of Pacquiao, and he does it in sensational fashion. As good as he has looked from start to finish as we have seen in recent years.
Speed was the factor here. I said it. Speed was the factor here. Too fast, too much experience. A dominant force still at the age of 39. Need to be respected. Manny Pacquiao.
I had him by stoppage, not this early though.
Oh, I had him by stoppage as well.
Well, nobody's seen the other end of that in 3,164 days. That was the last time Manny Pacquiao knocked somebody out. But he does it tonight in Malaysia. Lucas Matthysse, the attempt at a title defense against the living legend, it went south quickly, and he was never able to recover. And that left uppercut became the signature punch throughout the night, Timothy Bradley.
Yes, it did, because Matthysse gave him that opportunity to land that left uppercut, because Matthysse would lean forward every time Manny Pacquiao would get close to him. He'll lean forward. He'll give him that shot straight up the middle.
Look at this scene in the ring. For the Filipino fight fans who have gone 23 years of watching the grand ascent of their national hero, this moment of being back after last summer of being down and out. And now let the talk begin of who's ahead at 39 years old in a loaded welterweight division with top names like the great Bud Crawford sitting out there. Here's how he finishes him, Timmy.
Pacquiao doing what Pacquiao does. Stocking coming behind the jab. The jab sets the table. Pacquiao cleans him up with the left uppercut as Matthysse leaned forward. I think Matthysse could have continued, but he decided, you know what, I'm sick of taking this punishment.
I agree with you.
Over this course of this fight.
That was a big shot.
Yes, it was.
I mean, that was a big shot, that left uppercut.
But he has his wits. You can see that. He has his wits. And he spits out the mouthpiece.
Yes. Only he knows, though, what's going on in his mind. Remember, he was clipped by that right hook in the 5th round on the temple. He took the left uppercut in the 3rd and takes the strongest, most thudding punch of the fight right there.
No one knows but Matthysse how much those shots really hurt. My guess is
I know.
Well, Timothy Bradley sitting in between us knows what a headshot
right now, right there.
Like.
Yeah, anybody want to know?
But now
let's make it official. Pacquiao's a champ again. Up to the ring to Michael Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, here in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, referee Kenny Bayless calls a halt to the contest following the knockdown. The official time, 2 minutes, 43 seconds, round number 7. The winner by TKO victory. And now, once again, he is the welterweight champion of the world, the fighting pride of the Philippines, Manny Pacquiao.
May 2015 against Floyd Mayweather is just a blip on the radar now. His 4th fight since then. A comeback after the disaster against Jeff Horn, and something to be celebrated. Deep into the autumn of his boxing career, and he still looked that good against a guy who many would say was a long in the tooth, Lucas Matthysse, who happened to get himself a belt, but still a dangerous fighter with dangerous power. But Manny was successful in sensational form with a 7th round TKO. Let's go up to Diane.
It's still pandemonium here in the ring. I am with the new WBA welterweight champion, Manny Pacquiao. Manny, at training camp, you said you were going to be the counter puncher. But today, you dictated the pace from from the first round?
Yes, I did. We do counter punch because Matthysse is a power. He has a power also. So we're taking care and take care in the ring, hands up all the time, and do my best.
Your speed was unbelievable. You caught him numerously from round 1 and you put him down in round 3. Were you surprised that it came that early? You said you were going to take your time.
Yeah. I'm surprised because Matthysse is a very tough opponent and I knocked him down. So that's a bonus for being focused and patient in the fight and work hard in training.
You scored another knockdown in round 5 and another one in round 7 to finish the fight via KO. Your first KO win since 2009. Manny, when was the last time you knocked down a fighter 3 times?
Oh, long time ago. Thank God for this victory. This is all dedicated to God and to all the Filipino people for the honor of our country. And thank you to our president, Rodrigo Rua Duterte, for watching this fight.
Manny, your team said they wanted to keep you hungry, so they prevented you from training a little bit. They wanted you to come out smoking, and you sure came out smoking tonight. How would you rate your performance?
Yes, we did a good job in my team. We did a good job in training. We were not pushing hard like what we did when we were young. Just we control ourselves for this training, but it's heavy training. It's heavy training. So we did a good job. Thank you. Thanks to all my team for working hard this fight.
Manny, with this performance, who would you like to fight next?
Well, that's another story and another discussion. Right now, I'm happy to go back to my country in the Philippines and to celebrate the victory, and of course with my fellow countrymen, of course, and doing my job and as a public servant.
I know you've got the State of the Nation address coming up right when you come back with your work at the Senate. Do you think you will come back to box? Will you fight again this year?
We're planned for that. We're not decided yet. Right now, my focus is to go back to my country and, of course, relax.
What a great performance, Manny, and I'm sure you want to address your Filipino fans here and all over the world, and your president sitting right up there.
Mga Pilipino, maraming salamat, lalo-lalo na sa ating mahal na Pangulo. Filipino people, maraming salamat. We have a good President, Rodrigo Rua Duterte. Thank you, Mr. President, for being our president.
All right, Manny, there's the president right there giving you the 2 thumbs up.
Also, the Prime Minister, Martyr, thank you so much to all your support. The Malaysian government, thank you so much to all your support. And of course, the royal family, thank you. Thank you so much.
Well, the question was asked of who do you want next? He refers to going back home and relaxing and continuing on with his role as a public servant, elected official back in the Philippines. But trust me, all over the world, there are a lot of fighters who say, oh, I would like that.
Of course. Manny Pacquiao looked dominant tonight against Matthysse, but he is still a big name in the sport of boxing.
Back up to Diane with Lucas Matthysse.
Matthysse. What was the most difficult part of fighting Manny Pacquiao? What was the most difficult part of fighting tonight? Just couldn't seem to get going.
De pelear con Manny Pacquiao esta noche.
Y pelear con Manny Pacquiao.
To be fighting Manny Pacquiao.
Es un gran peleador, la verdad que es un gran campeón.
He's a great fighter and a great champion.
I know you said you were going to catch him, hit him, and put him down. What do you think happened?
Dijiste que lo ibas a pescar y lo ibas a noquear. ¿Qué fue lo que pasó?
Se dio vuelta, siempre se gana y se pierde, hoy me tocó perder. Y es así, pero perdí ante un gran campeón, una lesión.
It was turned around. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. Today it was my turn to lose, but I lost to a great fighter, a great legend, Manny Pacquiao.
Lucas, you worked hard for this. What would you like to do next?
Trabajaste muy fuerte para esto. ¿Qué te gustaría hacer ahora?
Primeramente descansar, volver a mi casa y nada. Ya el trabajo fuerte se hizo, la pelea se hizo, se perdió, pero nada, me voy con la cabeza bien alta.
Take a rest, take a break. I worked really hard. I want to go back home with my family. And, you know, this is part of boxing. You win some, you lose some. Today it was my turn to lose, but nothing more.
What do you want to say to your people of Argentina watching back home?
¿Qué quieres decir a tu gente de Argentina que te estuvo apoyando?
¿Están escuchando ya?
Sí.
Sí, no, un saludo a Argentina, perdón, pero bueno, estoy bien, a mi hijita, a todos Trelew, las pibas, las mil, a toda mi familia. Aguanta Argentina, la concha de su madre.
That I'm okay. Thank you for all the love and support. And we'll be seeing all my family and friends. And thank you for all the love and support that they give me.
All right, there's Lucas Matthysse now saying Manny Pacquiao too much for him. Todd, back to you.
Thank you, Diane. I think it's interesting in asking the most difficult part of facing this fight. Most difficult part of this fight, he says, facing Manny Pacquiao. That's what they used to say about Manny Pacquiao. That's what was said again tonight. Let's look at the CompuBox numbers, guys, because Pacquiao landed him in every single round. You look at the power punches, 44% is a high percentage landed for power punches. He landed in power punches 79 to 36. The two left uppercuts, the third round, the finisher in the seventh round, and then the short right hook that clipped him on the temple that clearly had a big impact in the fifth round.
He's now changed the balance of power in boxing. We went in wondering if this would provide some sort of epitaph for Manny Pacquiao's career, and he turned that all around. It's the most difficult part of any fighter's career to negotiate the end. And now Lucas Matthysse is closer to making that realization than Manny Pacquiao. And the future of boxing is who does Manny Pacquiao fight, when, and where?
Hopefully we get that answer soon enough. And Timothy Bradley, I give you credit for when we were asking the impact of Freddie Roach not being there. You said, I have confidence in Bubo. I thought he looked in great shape, was fast, was sharp, was accurate, looked far better than he did last summer. Here is the welterweight division.
You know, with all the experience Manny Pacquiao has, all you need to do is somebody to hold the hand mitts for you. You know how to fight. Give you water in the corner. He can figure it out. With all the experience he has and all the trilogies and all the things that he did in the sport of boxing.
I'm not sure it's that simple. I think a large part of it was fighting a guy his size.
Maybe Bud Crawford is next for Pacquiao. Who knows? Welterweight division is loaded. Guys at 140 pounds are promising. But we will have more Manny Pacquiao in our future with this sport. He's not going anywhere anytime soon. Speaking of more boxing, plenty of it still to come this summer on ESPN Plus and ESPN, including Christopher Diaz going up against Masayuki Ito for the 130-pound belt that Vasily Lomachenko used to have. Heavyweight action on ESPN comes your way August 18th with Brian Jennings and Alexander Dimitrenko with Jesse Hart, one of the finest super middleweights in the world, on the co-main. 2 world title fights in one night on August 25th. Isaac Dogboe, his 122-pound world championship on the line. And in the lightweight championship, Ray Beltran and Jose Pedraza, the winner, could be fighting the great Vasily Lomachenko. But great is the descriptive of Manny Pacquiao tonight. He does it. The 60th win of his career, a titleist again. For Mark Kriegel and Timothy Bradley, I'm Joe Tessitore, asking you to enjoy the rest of your night, everybody. Thanks for being with us.